In 1952, the great Sherlockian Edgar W Smith wrote the following: when possibility of publishing a journal of Sherlockiania was first discussed back in 1945, there was much argument as to how often and what number of pages such a periodical might be made to appear. Quite a few desirable items had been crowded out by Profile and Gaslight when it came forth in 1944, and these, it was felt, could form a nucleus around which an irregular annual, or perhaps a semi-annual, could be safely built, with each issue containing perhaps some 50 or 60 pages. There was great scepticism that anything more ambitious than this should be attempted. The bolder spirits amongst the organisation prevailed, fortunately, and we know now, in retrospect, how right our counsels were. The old Baker Street Journal was launched as a quarterly in January 1946, and 13 issues in all were published, containing an aggregate of 1,700-odd closely printed pages, devoted exclusively to the life and times of Sherlock Holmes. In January 1951, the new journal began to issue, and to this date, another 280 pages have been added to the saga of the Sagan, and the end is, happily, nowhere in sight. Never, as Christopher Morley put it, when he saw material that was rolling in and weighed it against the journal's subscription list, has so much been written by so many for so few. Here, in the writings about the writings, has been found by those who feel a kindred urge, a bottomless well of wisdom and delight. What is it that makes this subject inexhaustible? Why do those who read the magical tales, for the utter satisfaction their reading gives them, insist on adding something to the lore themselves? Whence comes the irresistible impulse to dig deeper into the meaning of things Sherlockian and to seek a closer identification or interpretation of the truth? There is nothing like it, to one's knowledge, in all the field of literature. Not Robinson Crusoe, nor Mr. Pickwick, nor yet the great Hamlet has been so honoured by the imp of the inquisitive. Do Alice and Don Quixote inspire long hours of research to determine the whys and wherefores of some foliable they have displayed? Or do Pitti Sing and Madame Butterfly compel erudite analysis of the crowded box rooms of their mind? Ivanhoe and Hiawatha, Dr. Jekyll, David Copperfield, Hercules, George Babbitt, who cares if they were married once or twice, or how profound their knowledge of the solar system may have been? We know just where Achilles had his wound, and we let it go at that. And we know too what college Tom Brown attended, and what kind of snake it was that Cleopatra took to her bosom. We know so very much of all the figures that move upon the literary scene, and knowing, cease to care or question. But Sherlock Holmes is different. Of him we know, of course, as much as any other, and yet he still remains the great enigma. The one of all the lot we feign to know as much as we know ourselves. There is some kind of empathy, perhaps, that moves us to that endless search that never makes us satisfied with what's been revealed, or what we do in probing out the inner things is done, it may well be, in emulation of his own approach to life and as a tribute to his mastermind. Whatever it may be, we know it will go on. We know that men will write of Sherlock Holmes and what he thought and did and was, for many years to come. The surface, up to now, has not even been scratched. April 1952. And here we are, more than 70 years on. We're still writing about Sherlock Holmes. We're still talking beyond the canon. Here we are, you're listening to me now. I'm publishing this because Sherlock has and always will give us all pleasure. What's your thought? Write in the comments section. And till next episode, bye bye.